Kelty Gunnison too.
Okay, guys, I'm going through YouTube looking for reviews on backpack tents, and I'm looking for the lightweight, obviously, always, and the breathability and the easy of setup, etc., etc. Looking at the Gunnison Kelty, the Kelty Gunnison 2x2.2, it seems to be a good tent, but it's in the $200 range, and it has double door. It's got a door here and door on the other side, which I don't need. I do need the room. They have the space, but it's also I believe it was 6.5 pounds. I go to the Kelty website and look at the different tents. Also, I'm looking at the Salida 2. This one weighs 4.8, which I like. It's got good height, and the floor plan is about 30 square feet. The thing is that it's kind of awkward. It's 55 one end, 45 on the other. It makes it a little tight for me and my gear. I already measured it out on the ground and brought the gear. Put it on my old tent that I lost the rods, and I put everything around it the way I usually set it up, and then I lay in the middle, see if I have enough room. I have some room, but it's not as roomy as the one that I lost the rods. So going back to YouTube,
Point two, it's going to be a good option for anyone that's looking to do some backpacking or camping. Tent weighs in between 5 and 6 pounds, minimum weight versus the pack weight.
yeah, 5 to 6 pounds. That's way over my weight requirements. I need something between 4.5, no more than that. Now the next one is the Kelty Salida, which means departure in Spanish. And this is the one, but this is the 4.
The Kelty Salida.
This guy says saliva, that means spit. I told him so. It's like saliva. But anyways, this, like I said, it's a little tight here. It's 44 inches, and on the opposite side is 55 inches. So they should have done it 55 on both ends. But it is what it is, and it's a good tent. It is good for heavy weather, heavy rains. And I'm really considering this one. It's a little more reasonable. It's around $139 to $149. It's only 4.8 pounds, which is perfect with everything. And what I'm going to do, let me get rid of this. Hang on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the stakes, which I don't use, and the bag and several, just cut some ounces. But the Salida is the one that I think is the one that I've
backpacking you can be pretty
chosen.
pricey. And the more lightweight you want to get, the more you're going to be spending. With this tent, you get a bargain plus ultralight type weights. This tent comes in at $159. It weighs 3 pounds, 12 ounces.
There you go.
Fits 2 people quite easily. You get a nice big vestibule. A very simple setup. It's just a cross pole structure. Comes a little gear attic, breathable mesh. We haven't had any condensation. It's withstood rain in Colorado's Indian Peaks Wilderness. It's withstood a couple nights of snow here in Capitol Reef National Park. The bargain price doesn't come without trade-offs. One is that, see where the vestibule is. I'm laying side by side with my buddy. If I have to get up in the middle of the night, then I have to crawl over him.
No, do you use the pee bottle?
You know what? You deal with it. And the price and the weight is totally worth it.
I've already looked at the Eureka and the Boulder and several others, and this one is my preferred choice. Now, I'll show you real quick because I had another tent that I've had for a long time. It's a 7x7 octagon, and it's this one right here. And I said, let me see if I can use the rods that came with this one. This is a 3-rod tent. because I didn't want to throw away the tent that I lost the rods. And even though it's a cheap one, it's still in good shape. It's not ripped or anything, so I want to keep it. And I said, let me set it up. So I did. It's in the front now. And I also hit it with the hose to see if it would take some rain and some weather. And there it is. The little tent is back and it's soaking wet. Let me wet it again. Show you guys what I did. Basically, let's imagine it's a heavy rainstorm in the high Sierras, and it's getting hit pretty hard with some windy conditions. Let me check it a little bit. Windy conditions. Okay, so there's a big puddle here, and this has to be stretched out properly. Still wanted to find out how come I had that much water in the tent in that cold morning. On this side, this is the side that was, so I want to make sure if I have a hole I could find it. Okay, so the storm is over. Let me shut the water off. And let's see. You're hoping that everything is dry. You're gonna have some water dripping in from me opening the door, which is kind of pain in the butt doing it by hand, one hand. So there's the interior, and I say it's completely dry. I still don't know how that water came in and pooled right in that area. If you guys saw the video, I had an ice island sitting inside there attached to all my edibles. And the only idea that comes to mind is that on this side, being that I was facing west and it still had some ice on it, what maybe had happened, it went through the material, which I don't think so, because this is dry. This is completely dry. So if it did go to the material, and when my body heat melted, just drooped down and created a pool of water. So I don't think so. I don't think that's what happened. The other theory is that the bottle, the jug of water that I had, it was halfway open, and somehow me moving around at night, somehow it started spilling water. Let me put this out to the sun so it dries up. See, that's one thing I like about these tents, that they're self-standing. You don't really need to tie them down or anything. I'll just leave it there. I just wanted to test to see if it had any water. And as you can see, here's the sunlight, better lighting, completely dry. So this material is waterproof, at least for the time I soaked it. It's nylon, so it's not gonna soak in. The only the only gripe I have about this little tent is that it doesn't have a rear window to give me cross ventilation. But I can take this to this lady I know, a seamstress, and she can go ahead and cut an opening in the back and do a little zipper window and get a nice cross ventilation. As far as dispensing the body heat, the humidity, the condensation, I mean, I don't think it's good for that. It has a very small, let me open the top here. It has this little mesh area here and here, nothing on the opposite side. So That's the only thing about it that it doesn't have. Other than that, for 24 bucks, you know, just in the conclusion of the video that I will call the dry tent. The tent did pretty well for the money. You can't beat it for the money. The $24, it's worth it. And I heard some reviews that some people advise not to get a tent with this plastic, and I say, you know what, get it, use it. When it rips, either patch it or get another one. 24 bucks, man, come on. I'm still thinking about getting the Salida by Kelty, $159.99. I don't know, to shave half a pound and shave another 160 bucks off my pocketbook, maybe I'll stick with this one. It has a little more room than the Salida. I don't know, the only thing, it's the condensation. It doesn't work with the condensation, and it doesn't have a lot of good ventilation because there's no crosswind going through because there's no window. If I don't resolve the issue with the window, then I will fork out the money and I'll keep this as a spare for what it is. And I'm glad I thought about the rods. I saved the little tent because I was getting ready to chuck it because I can't find rods. They don't sell rods on their own for this. But I can reuse the rods from my other tent. And the other tent is big. The other tent is 7 by 7 by 7. It's octagonal. I can go in there. You can sleep 2 adults, all the gear you bring, and a dog. It's all camouflage, and I did the water test on it too, and it held up perfectly, just like this one. The only thing is it doesn't have the tarp bottom. I like the tarp bottom on this, I really do. And I was concerned that the water was going to seep in through the little edge right there on the seam, and I wetted it all the way around, and it did not leak at all. So there's no leakage in there. So maybe, you know, I'll pay this lady whatever, 10, 15 bucks just to do a little opening with a zipper. It might even might go up to 20. I know the tent is 24, but at least it'll have ventilation and I can still use it. And it's still 4 pounds. All right, guys, on the next one. Thank you.